Former footballer Mikheil Kavelashvili has been appointed president by Georgia's disputed parliament after 17 days of pro-EU protests that have swept the country's towns and cities.
양분된 조지아 의회에서 치러진 대통령 선거에서 친러시아 성향의 전직 축구선수 미하일 카벨라슈빌리 후보가 당선됐습니다. 이는 조지아 곳곳에서 친유럽연합 시위가 17일간 이어진 끝에 나온 결과입니다. Tell us more.
It's political rumbles in Georgia.
Yeah.
Mikheil Kavelashvili was the only candidate for president, and 224 out of 225 members of Georgia's electoral college voted for him. However, the four main opposition groups have rejected him and they've boycotted parliament. They say that the elections that were held in October were rigged, and there are lots of protesters outside in the freezing cold who were protesting ahead of the vote. So we shall see what happens. The issue in Russia is that Mikheil Kavelashvili's party, Georgian Dream, has been accused of bringing Georgia closer to Russia, politically speaking. Yeah. So either you're pro-EU or you're pro-Russia in Georgia. But no, this former footballer is now president.
Yes. Let's have a look at the first expression, and it is that the former footballer has been appointed president.
Yes, he has been put into that position. If you're appointed as something, it means you are given that title or given that position. So Sue was appointed host of Morning Special a few years ago. I was appointed as a newscaster as well. You may be appointed as a vice president or as a manager or whatever your job title may be.
네, 뭐뭐로 임명이 되거나 지명이 됐을 때 be appointed 뒤에 as 넣어도 되고요, 빼도 돼요. Be appointed president, be appointed as president 다 괜찮을 것 같습니다. And what about disputed?
It means that something is argued about, that it's contested, that people are fighting over it or fighting about it.
Disputed parliament라고 했죠. 그러니까 지금은 양분된 그런 의회를 얘기하고 있는데 dispute in itself means, people don't agree. There's a lot of disagreement.
Exactly. If someone's having a dispute with someone else, they're arguing.
맞아요. 명사로도 이렇게 쓸 수 있습니다. 분쟁이라는 명사가 되니까 disputed는 분쟁이 되다 이렇게 볼 수 있겠네요. So anything can be disputed. A disputed award, a disputed result.
Exactly. It doesn't always have to be politics. It could be in sports. It could be in, just your school. People are disputing who should be class president.
Yeah, a disputed announcement 이런 식으로 말하면 그거에 대한 여러 가지 의견들이 있고 지금 논란까지는 아니지만 분쟁은 일어난 거죠. 그래서 아니다, 맞다 하는 사람들. Alright, so that's the word there. Let me read it one more time. Former footballer Mikheil Kavelashvili has been appointed president by Georgia's disputed parliament after 17 days of pro-EU protests that have swept the country's towns and cities. Let's move on to the next headline.
Heung-min has claimed the top spot in Gallup Korea's annual poll of the most prominent figures in Korean sports for the 8th consecutive year.
손흥민 선수가 한국갤럽이 실시한 올해 한국을 가장 빛낸 스포츠 스타 설문조사에서 8년 연속 1위로 선정됐습니다. Sonny.
Yeah, you're happy about this, I'm
very
sure, Sue.
happy.
You're a big fan of his.
I love Sonny. So just tell us more.
And so do many people. He got 70.7%. Which gave him first again.
Wow.
And who can blame people for voting for him? Because, you look at his career over the past few years. He's doing amazing things in the Premier League. He does amazing things when he comes back here. He's charismatic, he's handsome, he's lovable, and he seems to be a nice chap.
Yeah, he's a very well-rounded person, isn't he? Because, as you just said, he's not only an excellent footballer, but he's just a good person as well. And
so he seems to be, yeah. I feel sorry for Lee Kang-in, who came second.
Okay.
He got 12.7%. He's moved from Real Mallorca in Spain to Paris' Saint-Germain.
Yeah.
And third place was Shin Yu-bin, who got the mixed doubles table tennis and women's team bronze medal at the 2024 Paris Olympics.
한국갤럽 조사 결과입니다. 설문조사에서 한국을 빛낸 스포츠 스타 1위로 손흥민 선수가 선정이 됐는데요. 무려 70%의 찬성표 아니면은 그 popularity vote니까 네, 인기 투표라고 볼 수 있겠죠. 표가 70%나 손흥민 선수한테 갔고 그 다음으로는 이강인 선수 12% 정도의 표를 얻었습니다. 그리고 신유빈 선수 테이블 테니스 탁구 선수죠. 10% 정도의 표를 얻었습니다. All right, this was an annual poll.
Yeah, a poll is a survey, people asking people questions, and annual means it happens every year.
Yeah.
This is something that Gallup Korea does every single year to find out who is the most prominent figure in sports.
That's right. Annual, ANNUAL. It means it happens every year. If you say, biennial, then that means it happens every 2 years.
Yes,
Yeah.
and when I think of annual, I think of my childhood. Because when I was a kid, one of my Christmas presents would always be a comic annual. I used to get a weekly comic, but every year they would produce an annual, only came out once a year, with very special comic strips in them.
In that case, annual is used as a noun.
Yeah.
So it's a different way of using the word, and it means, in that case, a book, a magazine.
Yeah, a yearly book.
A yearly book. 그렇죠. 여기서는 물론 형용사입니다. An annual poll, P-O-L-L, 연간 실시되는, 1년에 한 번씩 실시되는 여론조사. What about prominent figure?
Well, figure here means person or people, and prominent means, they stick out. They're
Yeah.
well known. They're famous.
Yes.
They are recognized. So I think, the easiest synonym would be famous, a famous figure.
That's right. 유명한 사람, 저명인사, a prominent figure. All right, well, I'm going to read this headline again. Heung-min has claimed the top spot in Gallup Korea's annual poll of the most prominent figures in Korean sports for the 8th consecutive year. Now here's our final headline.
A new study suggests that intermittent fasting, a popular weight loss regimen involving short periods of food deprivation, can trigger a stress response that stunts hair growth by inhibiting or killing hair follicle stem cells.
새로운 연구 결과에 따르면 음식 섭취를 단기간 제한하는 인기 체중 감량법인 간헐적 단식이 모낭 줄기세포를 억제 혹은 제거함으로써 모발 성장을 방해하는 스트레스 반응을 촉발할 수 있는 것으로 나타났습니다. Oh, tell us more.
I think intermittent fasting has become more and more popular over the years, over the
Yes.
past decade, especially in the US. For those who don't know, it's where you only eat at certain times. So you don't eat for most of the day, but let's say you eat between 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock every afternoon or evening.
Yeah.
The idea is you're taking a break from it.
Yeah.
And the results show that it can provide health benefits. In mice, it was an increased lifespan. However, one of the issues seems to be that it's causing stunting
Hair
of
loss.
hair
Yeah.
growth,
Yeah.
which is bad news for anybody who's worried about going bald.
Yeah, so it could trigger hair loss, but at least, at the very least, it's going to stunt your hair growth, which means, your hair's not going to grow as fast as it should have.
Yes, there are solutions to it. It seems if you apply an antioxidant cream, but at the same time you have to always weigh up the options when you're considering a diet. There are always going to be pros and cons, and there could well be side effects.
Well, I've done this for quite some time, and I knew normally I go for the sort of 16-hour fasting regimen, and I've found it to be quite helpful. I don't know if it's led to hair loss. I lose a lot of hair when I wash my hair anyway.
Yes.
And I also have a lot of hair. I'm very blessed in that
Congratulations.
sense. So I don't know, but apparently according to this study, it can be stressful to the body because I guess your body expects food.
Yeah.
And when it doesn't get it, it can lead to stress and that can affect your hair.
Well, this is the whole thing. It's sometimes dieting is about tricking your body into going into some sort of response. But if you trick your body in the wrong way, your body won't be doing the things you want it to do.
Yeah, exactly. 이 연구 결과에 따르면은요, 이게 간헐적 단식을 하면은 그 몸에서 스트레스로 느끼기 때문에 모낭 줄기세포를 억제할 수 있다. 뭐 그런 연구 결과가 나왔다는 겁니다. 그래서 평소보다는 이제 머리카락이 좀 덜 자라는 이런 결과가 나왔대요. 어디까지나 연구 결과입니다만 표현을 좀 보겠습니다. What is a regimen?
A regimen is a course of some kind, perhaps to do with your diet, or it might be to do with your exercise plan, but it's something that's maybe given to you, or you make it yourself, or maybe even the doctor prescribes it for you.
That's right.
Don't confuse it with a regime, which is spelt similarly, but means the controlling government or the controlling party of a country.
자, 여기서 말하는 regimen은 운동 그리고 식이요법을 말합니다. 또 다른 의미도 있지만 여기서는 그 식이요법의 의미로만 보시면 되겠고요. What about to stunt hair growth? To stunt something.
This is not Tom Cruise in Mission Impossible 6. It's not a stunt actor, but when we use it as a verb like this, to stunt means to stop or delay something. For example, it's proven that if children are malnourished when growing up, it will stunt their growth. It will stunt their development, meaning they will not develop at the same rate or in the same way as another ordinary child.
Yeah, and I think growth often comes with the word stunt.
Absolutely, yes.
stunt growth 그러면은 성장을 방해하다, 성장을 저해하다라는 뜻이 있습니다. Alright, let me read this one more time. A new study suggests that intermittent fasting, a popular weight loss regimen involving short periods of food deprivation, can trigger a stress response that stunts hair growth by inhibiting or killing hair follicle stem cells. All right, well, that's it for our 5 headlines this morning with Paul Matthews.